everyone, welcome to Production with Jolie on Jolie TV. I am Jolie. How are you all doing? Today I want to discuss on a very, a little bit controversial topic, a little bit complicated topic. Today I want to discuss on intertribal marriage. Not just intertribal marriage, I want to also talk on interracial marriage. Marriage itself is a very complicated topic. It's a topic that it can never be discussed on just one production. I, for one, will really not want to talk about marriage because it's very complicated. But I came across a video today. It's from another blogger. Not exactly today. It was about a day ago, which is yesterday, and she narrated her ordeal with marriage, with intertribal marriage. And listening to her, her narration, it's a lot of questions came to mind. And I also remember how, like I always say, I usually have a lot of discussion with my friends. A lot of people will come and ask one or two questions. If I have an answer, definitely I will. We will discuss about it. I remember this friend of mine that walked up to me, at work. She wanted to make I believe, though she didn't come out to say that directly to me, but from my, little observation, I noticed that it's like she is interested in getting married to someone who is of a different tribe with her, and even before then, I have a lot of my friends, my American friends, that will come and talk. They will come and ask questions about getting married from other race. Is either they are white trying to get married to black, or they are Asians trying to get married to black, or even blacks trying to get married to Africans. So to me and to them, it's still not the same. If they are black Americans, they still have this, they are Africans. They are not. We are not. They don't look at us as exactly as we see them as black. They still have this, this belief that we are different. So, but definitely we are different. So they want to ask, what does it take? How do I go about it? Is there any problem? How would they look at me? They want to find out a whole lot of, things before they want to get into it. And for me, marriage is very complicated. Let me tell you something. When I was about to get married, there's something my godmother said to me, and I held on to that for a very long time. She said that marriage is like a gift. It's like a parcel. For every woman is different. That you open your own, when you receive a gift, you open, you don't know what to expect. So it's either when you open it, you are like, wow, this is so beautiful. Or you open it, you're disappointed. Or you open it, you're like, okay. Or you open it all. So that's how she described marriage. She says it's like a parcel. When you open it, whatever you see, you take. But just learn how to manage the situation. So going through this blogger's narration yesterday, because I sat down, it was a very lengthy one, Summer Ako to be precise. It was a very lengthy narration of how she got married to another tribe. She's actually Igbo, got married to a Yoruba man. She narrated her ordeal. She narrated the story, and I know that obviously she's not telling a lie. One thing I say to people when you want to get married is not even actually how to be intertribal or interracial marriage. Even in any marriage you want to look. There are some certain things you need to look critical on. You need to check it out and see if it is okay for you to get in. I am Igbo, for instance. I married an Igbo man, yes, but we are not from the same state. So the story is even complicated. Igbo, but not the same state. Not to talk of, you're getting married now to someone who is of a different tribe. It's a whole lot. Now, let's take it further. You are going outside your country. You are going outside your race. Maybe the person is white, you're black. There's a whole lot to look into before you decide to. Because I have seen friends who got into, interracial marriages and they are out today. I've seen friends who have gone into intertribal marriages, they are out of it today. I've seen stories, I've heard about different, stories of people who got into such marriages and they are out. And if you critically look into their situation, they are practically all the same. If you listen to their complaints or their regrets, they are practically all the same. Now, I decided to, let me look at, because I'm taking Summer Aku's narration for instance. I'm trying to look at what her complaints, what her fears were. If you look at her story, one is the tribe. Whether we like it or not, I'm not saying that it don't work at all, but it's like 5%, 10%. It's still nothing. I'm not saying if you see someone you love that is not your tribe, don't get married to them. But what I'm trying to put out here today is you need to prepare yourself mentally, spiritually, and you need to know what you're walking into before you get into such marriages. It's not something you want to wake up one day and say, oh, I feel like marrying a white man today, then you jump in, and tomorrow you jump out. Or you wake up next tomorrow and say, oh, it's like a Hausa man is better. You jump in and you're out. You need to critically think about it. And like I said earlier, marriage is very complicated. Don't think it's enough for you to love someone, then you jump into marriage just like that. Like she narrated in her story, because she was quite very, very right in that. Love is not enough for you to just go straight into a marriage just like that, without weighing the both sides. Is this gonna work? Is this not gonna work? Looking at her story, one of the points she made was, one, acceptance. For her, she was never ever accepted from day one, which is a big problem. If you're getting into a marriage and you are in love, it is not enough for you to say, oh, let me just go ahead, when there's no approval from the parents. That is a very big mistake, because you will be frustrated out of it and you don't want it. She said that at a point they felt, oh, we don't need these people to get on with our life, let's just get on and live. She felt with time and maybe children coming in between, that they should be accepted. No, that did not work out for her. She was never accepted from the one. She was never accepted even 10 years after. For her old story is a little bit complicated, because I was the first wife already there, which she did not know. But I don't think that was even her issue, because she had 4 kids. I think the major thing was she was from a different tribe. And tribalism and racism is a fact. It has come to stay. We cannot change it. We are only trying to deal with it. We are only trying to live with it and know how to manage it. I'm not I'm not tribalistic, neither am I a racist. I love everybody. Left for me, if you ask, if those that knew me very well know that from the one, like I said, I decided not even to marry my tribe. That is a story for another day. You know, on my own, I could have married anybody, but not. I don't want to say my tribe. Let me put it that my state. Yes, my state. I could have married from any other state, but not my state. Reason best known to me, and another story for another day. But when when love comes and you don't know where it's going to blow from, it might blow from the south, from north, from east, from west, wherever it comes from, you're never going to know where it's going to blow from. But be careful. Love is not enough for you to just walk into a marriage. You are madly in love, yes. You want to live with a person for the rest of your life, yes. But be very careful, especially if you are not accepted by the family of the person you are getting married to, especially the mother. I've witnessed, if not, let me be frank here, I've witnessed a lady who got into this, intertribal marriage. She was never accepted. Even when she died, she was not even accepted. Not one, not twice. I've seen at least two. Even with her years in that marriage, they kept coming, the in-laws kept coming, and they keep telling her, you will soon leave, you will soon leave. At the point when she died, she suspected that she was killed by the in-law, allegedly, but we don't know. So, if you're not accepted from the one, I would advise, try all you can to see that you are accepted. If you are not accepted, my dear, please pray to God to give you, because I don't think, from my belief, that he said God's blessings added no sorrow. So if you're going into a marriage that you're not accepted by the members of the family of wherever you're getting married to, it's the first sign to tell you that it's not approved by God. Because I don't see any marriage that is just for one person, man, let's get married, and that is it. I don't see it that way. When you are getting married to the man, and all his family members becomes your family. So if you are not accepted, that place is going to be very unconducive for you to live for the rest of your life. Not just you, even for the children that you're going to bear into that family. And you don't want, because you never can tell what will happen to you. You might die tomorrow. What happens to those children? Because if they don't accept you, they will never ever going to accept your children. So if you're getting married to tribes that are not yours, race that are not yours, think of that acceptability. If they are not acceptable, if you are not accepted to that place, don't go there. Then look at the culture, because we have different culture. The way the people live, what they eat, how they behave, how they talk. It's a whole lot. You're getting into a culture that, for instance, you're getting it. Let's say you're a black lady getting married to a white man, for instance. You need to learn the way they speak. Because if you sound like me, whose accent will never leave, you're going to learn how to blend it. Your diction's not to be on point for them to even understand what you're saying. So just know that, one, you're going to check your language, you will check. Your intonation, you will check. Even your behavior will check. Because you have to be on point to be able to blend in. Not just for him, for his family member. I know this lady, she got married to a white man. The way they behave was different. This is an African girl coming from, back home into a culture that is not hers. So she tried all her best to fit in. the dressing, the way they talk, the way they behave, the way they sit. It was too much for her. And she was a very free person. So it was difficult for her to fit in. And after like 1-2 years, she was out because she could not fit in. Then another point I also wanted you for us to look at is religion. Whether we like it or not, religion will come to play. Let me say, for instance, if I am a Christian and I want to get married to a Muslim, is it going to work? The possibility for it to work is just barely like 5%. Because I have never been to the mosque before. I don't know how they worship. There are some certain kind of food they don't eat that I might want to eat. There's some certain kind of meat they eat that you may not want to eat, like pork. I know they don't eat pork, and some people eat. Some Christians don't, like some people don't eat pork, but they do. You know, and not just that. You know how many times they pray in a day? Are you willing to kneel, bow, and keep, praying their style? 5 times a day or even more. If those are not your routine, it's going to be very difficult for you to fit in. Their dressing is even also different. As you can see, they wear hijab, they cover up. And we Christians, we don't cover up like that. So you are going to learn a whole lot, trying to fit in. So if you're not ready to sacrifice all that, my dear, I will advise you, don't even go in, because you're not going to last long. Love is not enough. He sees you and says, I love you, and say, I love you too. It's not enough for you to just jump in without thinking if you're going to stay there for a long time or not. Then, in other episodes to come, I'm going to break it down. I'm just trying to, pinpoint some aspects which some are mentioned, narrated in her story, in addition to experiences I've seen. Like the lady that came to meet me, the first question she was like, because she knew I was Igbo, so she was like, do Igbo men marry 2 wives? Would the family accept me? I was like, we don't. Like, where I come from, it's hardly for you to see an Igbo man with 2 wives, except a traditionalist, for instance. But it's very difficult. But she was concerned. Those were her worries. Then I have a relative married to another tribe. When I heard about that, I was a bit concerned. My concern was, one, the language, because I know she doesn't speak. She doesn't even hear come, not to talk of go. For instance, I hear a little bit of that language, so I know when you are insulting me, for instance. Because, let me be precise, I speak a little bit of Yoruba. At least I know when you are insulting me, and I know how to reply. I know when, discussions are targeted towards me, and I know how to respond. But she, for instance, she doesn't hear nothing. She doesn't hear come, not to talk of go. So those were my concerns. I was like, are you sure you can cope with this? Are you sure they will accept you? Are you sure? I was so concerned about all that. Because I know, they said, when 2 elephants fight, the grass is the one that suffers when the children come. Both of you are in love right now. Agreed. If the family or all these other vices comes to play and you don't fit in and you all fall out, what happens to your offspring? What happens to the children? At first, you're not going to think about it because it looks like nothing. But whether you like it or not, they will come to play with time. With years to come, you will have children, you will have grandchildren. What are you going to tell them? What are the stories you're going to tell them? Like she said in her narration, What haunted her the most was she was never accepted. Not just, not being accepted. That tribal thing came to play when there was the first wife was there, which she claimed was, she never knew. But the family, backed up the first woman or the first wife because she was of their tribe. So it was easy for them to accept her from even her who struggled, because her struggle in her narration was too, not everybody can stand that. She practically carried the man on her shoulder, clothed him, feed him, covered his shame so that the world would not know what they were going through. They didn't look at all that. Her tribe played so much. So when you are, planning to get married to someone who is not the same tribe or the same race with you, be very sure and be very careful that you look at the right things and make sure they are in the right places. I'm not saying don't get married to someone who is not the same race with you or the same tribe with you. What I'm saying is that before you go into that marriage, make sure that you are accepted into that marriage by the family. It might not be not everybody will not accept you, but at least the mother and the father, or at least one of them. Because if the mother supports you, then you are okay. There's the possibility for your father-in-law to accept you afterwards, or the father-in-law accepts you. There's a possibility of him convincing the wife. But if both of them says no from the beginning, my dear, you are in for hot pepper soup. Trust me, you don't want to go into such marriage. You'll be so frustrated. Ask people, ask us, we will tell you it is not an easy journey. For the fact that you are even, how will I say, you are even a Catholic, getting married to a Pentecostal is another story for another day. Not to talk of different language. You don't know when they are planning to, deal with you. You are there sitting like mumu because you don't even understand. And if you are fortunate enough, you are married to a man that cannot protect you, because sometimes this family, they are so powerful that the man will not be he will not be able to protect you. So you are just on your own, fighting battle that you don't even understand. I will say, pray hard before you walk into such marriage. If they are not accepted, I'm repeating myself from day one, walk away. Pray to God to give you your own husband, your own wife, where they will accept you, so that you can go in there and live longer. Well, that is all I have for today. This topic, like I said, is very lengthy. I will discuss further on it in my next edition. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share. It is your girl, Jolie, on Jolie TV. Like I always say,